Hey, what is going on, everybody? Invisible Boilon here for hopefully what might be my last video before I get my webcam sorted. But this one is very important because we're going to be going over all of the math required here for the Forbidden Knowledge Evil Strange Heroic Campaign event. So the math has changed actually with the addition of Heroic mode, and you can see that on msf.gg, which we will take a look at very briefly, which allowed me to do the math early for you all before the event goes live, which is great because I'm going to see Morbius later in theaters, which I have been told is bad, but I'm going to go anyways. So now I don't need to be camped at my computer for store reset. But back to the event, the changes in Heroic have been quite impressive as far as the numbers go. And what that means is that it's going to be possible to get more shards than before if you're able to clear Heroic difficulty. Now, that's what we're here to talk about today, and exactly how many shards you can expect to get if this is a difficulty that you can clear. Now, we'll go over very briefly the old math related to hard mode if you're unable to clear or compete much of Heroic difficulty. But the main math will be with this in mind, so without further ado, let's get this show on the road. And I do really want to give a quick shout out to the Unyielding Orb, because this is actually probably one of the best event orbs that we've seen in some time. So I just want to kind of just cover this really quickly. As far as other characters are concerned, also, the odds seem to be the same. I did cross-reference this with my Dr. Voodoo video, and I'm pretty sure the drop rates are the same. So I was thinking, because we are actually going to be getting more orbs over the course of the Heroic difficulty, and so I was wondering if the odds changed, but I don't think they did. But as far as the other characters go, there's quite a few good ones. Deathpool, Echo, Kate Bishop, lots of new characters. Magic, Lady Deathstrike, Spider-Punk, Scarlet Spider, Silver Samurai, and you know, so that's like how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters that are kind of tough to come by, and so times that by 3.75%, well, you know, that's almost maybe 29%, you know, the chance that you're going to get something decent, you know, if all the rest of the characters you have maxed out. Of course, aside from Strange himself. So this is actually a really good orb, and hats off to them for actually doing something somewhat decent. So just wanted to cover that really quick before we go over to msf.gg. And if you're unaware, you can actually just go into the campaign section, and they have it here on the side: Forbidden Knowledge, Heroic, Hard, and Easy. Sorry that my my frame cuts that off a little bit. And you can kind of see the levels here. And it shows the levels and the difficulty. Now, of course, for the first level, you always get like preset characters, and you just do, you know, the story battle basically. But what you'll find differently is that the guaranteed, these are the what you get from the first time rewards, and then the completion rewards is what you get all the time. So this is 1,000 gold and 25 basic orb fragments, and then the guaranteed of 70 fragments per level. Now, what's interesting is, if you guys remember from hard mode, you would start by getting 50 fragments per farm, and then 60 on the next 3 levels, and then 70 on the final 3. This has changed in Heroic difficulty to give you 70 orb fragments per level all the way through Heroic. So that's what's changed in terms of the overall orb fragment drops. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but over the course of 15 days, which is how long normally campaign events last, it's going to result in more orbs. Now, as far as the teal gear that they suggested, it doesn't happen until later, and it's not a lot. You're getting some SBCs, some orb fragments here. Again, if you want to take a look at each of the characters and the, you know, the enemies that you have to fight in here as it goes along, do check that out online. We're not going to be doing that here. But as you go through some of the levels, you start to get 50 of the teal catalyst parts, and that's kind of the main rewards. It's a little bit disappointing. It's a, you know, it's more than we had before, but just I was hoping that we were going to get maybe some teal origin gear, but looks like we're not. And also the gold value that you get per node is actually changed quite a bit from hard mode, so keep that in mind as well. The net gold that you're going to get over the course of the full event is going to be a lot higher. So you can see as you go on, just different stats for the teal catalyst. It's basically 50 of each of them plus some teal ABCs. You do get some gold orb fragments along the way and some SBCs. I got that tracked in my spreadsheet as well. So let's take a look at that. But first off, I want to kind of just really quickly gloss over hard mode. So again, this is mainly focused on heroic difficulty, and that's probably what I'll be doing from now on, but I do want to acknowledge this. I'm going to keep this sort of around for those of you who are not in the heroic campaign difficulty level, which typically is going to be like gear tier 12 plus. So these are some of the old math here, and I'll make this available as well on my Discord. I would definitely recommend joining Discord. You know, I have a Discord channel where I share a lot of this information. So we have the Evil Strange event that's starting on March the 4th on Monday, today, and then it's lasting for about 15 days that we know of. The only reason why I'm saying this is because the math for the heroic difficulty is a lot better. And so if it keeps the full 15 days, that's great. If they somehow chop a few days off, then that's actually going to make it, well, about the same. So I'm hoping they don't. Normally, campaign events are 15 days long. It's been that way for a very long time, so I'm not expecting it to change, but we'll see, and I'll do an update if that does end up happening. Now, the free shards from the hard mode, sorry, you get 225, 225, 225 per level when you clear it. That's 27. This is going to be really important when we do the calculations for heroic, because when you clear things on heroic mode, you get all the backwards hard mode first times as well. The fragments per orb is 2,000. You get about, if you do all of hard mode, if you're just farming hard mode, so we're going to do this really quick before we get to heroic, you're getting about 5,400 orb fragments per day. Ignore that because I fucked that up. So energy generation is 928 per day. Why is this important? You may have recognized this from my Dr. Voodoo video, but the math hasn't really changed yet. So if you're just doing hard mode, if you're a lower level account and you're having to do this only, if you do your core refreshes of basically 200 a day, or the 4 times 50, you're going to be getting 258 shards. This is definitely going to go up, though, in heroic difficulty, so I'm just glossing over this stuff really quick. Pause the video if you need to take a look at the table or anything, because we're just going to scroll through this. Now, if you're only doing 100 cores daily, you're probably still going to get a 4-star free-to-play, unless your RNG is really bad. Now, in the worst-case scenario, and I've replicated these again in heroic difficulty with different cores, then if you do no cores, you are very unlikely to get 4-star free-to-play unless you have really good RNG. And I'm not really going to talk about all this other stuff because you're probably not doing this under hard mode anymore. So what's really important, though, is talking about the rewards in heroic, and that's kind of why we're here. So I want to jump on over here to my heroic mode charts. Things are a little bit different. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can go over this one by one. So again, same stuff related to the dates, but you get some different stuff related to the first time rewards for heroic mode like we talked about. So these are the shards that are relevant to hard mode. Now, where things change here is level 7, 8, and 9, you do get 1 extra shard in heroic. It's not worth a lot, but your total free shards go up from 27 to 30, so you get 3 more in heroic mode. You also get first time heroic orb fragments, which is more than hard mode previously, so 500 for the first 6 levels. So this is a net increase of like 1.5 orbs, which will add to the total amount of shards that you can get. You get some SBCs here. You can see there's a total of 220 if you beat all the levels. Gold orb fragments, so you're getting about 2.25 gold orbs for what it's worth. And then all these teal catalysts here for first time rewards on these heroic difficulty levels. And so for the event orb fragments, yeah, this is about 2.5 orbs that you're going to get for free, just for first time rewards and stuff, both from the heroic and hard mode side of things. So this is how it changes for the available fragments per day on heroic. Now, every level is 700. Now, this is different than what it is on hard mode. That was, like I said, 500, 500, 500, and then this was 600, 600, and then 700 on the last 3. So this changes the total number of available fragments that you can farm via heroic mode every day now, which is great. So this is improved from 6,300. In hard mode, it was 5,400, which doesn't sound like a lot, but over the course of 15 days, you know, these are extra orbs that you're getting. So let's talk about energy generation and where it's coming from. I kind of skipped this out in the hard mode section, but you get about 288 free-to-play energy. This is just your time-based energy over the course of 24 hours. You get 3 free refreshes throughout the day, which gives you 80 energy each time for 240. And when you core for campaign event energy, specifically for these events, you only actually get 100 energy. So you're getting 100 times 4 if you do those 4 refreshes at the bare minimum, and that gives you a potential total of 928. which is going to be really important when we go up. Oh, not that far over. When we look at scenario 1, which is what I call the best case scenario. These are typically people who are going to be spending about 200 cores daily. This is a total of 3,000 cores over 15 days. And so this is the 928 energy. This is all your refreshes of the 50s. And what's interesting actually is the amount of gold has gone up as well per campaign node. I didn't replicate the gold part for every single scenario, but for the 200 cores, you're actually getting about almost 1.7 million gold over the course of the event. Now, compared to hard mode previously, this was a little bit different. This is just about 1 million. So the amount of gold that you're actually getting on nodes now has improved. It's not a lot, you know, like an extra 700k. It's probably not going to mean a whole lot, but it's a little bit extra. Now, the total fragments that you're going to gain from this 928 energy is 6,510. This is all of heroic farmed, plus like a little bit extra energy on that top hard mode level. Now, that you divided by 2,000, you're getting about 3.26 orbs per day. And so you multiply this by 15 days, which is the estimated for the event, and you get about 48.8 orbs over the course of the event. Now, each of these orbs have an average chance to drop about 5.4 shards. Now, this is a very commonly used number that has been calculated a very long time in the past, you know, when basically they changed the drop rates, which was about 2 years ago or so. So things haven't really changed since then. So this is kind of over the course of a lot of openings that you're going to get roughly around 5.4 shards. Now you also do get that 30 free shards that I mentioned before and 2.5 more orbs that I suggested before. So I just did multiply 2.5 times 5.4, added it all up together, and you're getting about 307 shards, which is really close to 5-star free-to-play just by doing the 200 core refreshes. This is a huge increase over what things were before. Just to go back to what it was like just farming hard mode in the past, it was about 258. So we're seeing a net increase of about almost 50 shards in the same scenario, but through farming heroic mode. That's just simply by getting more orb fragments over the course of farming heroic difficulty than what you did previously in hard mode, with a little bit of extra first-time orbs as well that you saw in the previous table. So this is pretty close. You know, like at this point, if you didn't get 5-star free-to-play, this is average luck, by the way. So, you know, if you have good RNG, you're more likely to get 5-star free-to-play. I would say it's plus or minus about 50 shards. So if you have really bad luck, there's a good chance that you might not, but with average luck, you're going to get a 5-star free to play. So depending on how close that you are to getting that 5-star, that 310 shards, I mean, you could pull a few extra orbs, some 675 orbs if they're still around, I don't know, some ways to bridge the gap, you know, otherwise you're going to come really close, and it's a lot closer than you would have before. Now, scenario 2, the middle ground, this is 100 cores daily, which results in about 1,500 cores over the course of the event. It's 200 less energy, and so your fragments gained are here, total orbs over the day, and then this results in about roughly 10 orbs less over the course of the event than you would on the previous scenario. But still, this is your estimated shards about 250, and this is halfway to 5-star. Now, to go back to the previous hard mode scenario of the same thing, it's about 218. So you're getting about 32 shards more on average for the same scenario of 100 cores a day. So that's pretty good. Scenario 3, this is what I call the worst case scenario, where you don't do any coring. It's only going to be 528 energy per day, and so you can see that the total orbs over the event is 27.8. Same kind of math here, times by 5.4, add these numbers here, and you're getting about 194, which is on average luck 4-star free to play, which is pretty good because, again, comparing this to hard mode farming before, we can see that it was about 173. So that's a difference of about 21 shards, but enough to get you closer to 4-star free to play without even spending any cores. That being said, if you are able to do and clear heroic difficulty, I would probably consider coring. And that's the most important thing that I want to recommend earlier on, is have a goal in mind. So if you want to get close to that 5-star, make sure that you're doing the 200 core refreshes to start, actually, you know, right at the get-go. Don't start later on. Make sure you're doing this from day 1 and do this every single day, because that's going to be really important. Now, I have these scenario 4s and 5s, which is what I call lots of cores. This is 400 cores daily for 6,000 cores over 15 days for those super enthusiasts that want to core a lot. And so we're going to cut to the chase here, and just the total orbs over the event is about 59.3. I don't like having 2 decimal places here. And so using the same math, we're getting about 364 shards over the course of this. And so comparably to the previous hard mode farming, it's actually 60 shards more, 63 shards more with average luck compared to what it was on old hard mode farming. So if you're someone trying to go a little bit crazy or a little bit like harder, this is definitely going to guarantee you that 5-star, even with some bad luck. Like, it would have to be pretty bad, I think, for you to not get that 310 shards, because it's about 50 or so shards over that. Now, this is not going to get you towards the 6-star, but what's really interesting is if you're someone who spends a little bit of money on your offers and you still want to go even crazier, this is what I call lots and lots and lots of cores. This is 9,000 cores over 15 days, or 600 daily. Energy spent 1328, but total orbs over the event, almost 69 orbs. Now, times this by the 5.4, add the 30 and the 2.5 extra orbs, and you're getting an estimated shards of 415. Now, what's really interesting about this is it's halfway to 6-star. So if you're someone who maybe bought 100 shards worth in an offer, you only need 510 shards to get that 6-star. It's possible that with average luck on this, if you're spending 9,000 cores, that you can actually squeeze out that much more shards to get you closer to 6-star. Now, this really, you know, isn't free to play necessarily if you spent money on the offers, but this is what you can do with your cores if you really want to push Evil Strange or Strange Heartless, whatever you want to call them. And so comparably to hard mode, you can see 301 and 342. So this is a difference of like about 70 shards or so for the same amount of cores, which is really good. So despite what things look, I mean, I'm going to be doing the 50 times 4. Definitely that's going to bring me a lot closer to 5-star free to play than I ever did in the past. And fingers crossed with some good luck that I might actually get that 5-star Strange without having to core too much more over this. But it's really changed because of the available fragments. That's 700 basically out of all 9 of the levels in heroic mode, unless things have somehow changed between MSF.GG and what goes live, but I'm expecting that to be the case going forward. So yeah, let me know what you think about this campaign event. Things look a lot better in terms of the math. The numbers look a lot better. We're getting more stuff than we did before if you're able to clear heroic difficulty. If you're not, then you're gonna have to resort to some of the old hard mode math, but I guess that'll be the ultimate goal, will be to try and unlock, clear these modes in heroic difficulty if you have the characters available to you, and try to do the best that you can. I'm actually really excited about this, and really excited about what that means for future campaign events, if they carry with the same system, and I guess we'll see, you know, each patch, what characters are available, and whether or not it's easy or it's hard, and so on, if it's 3-starable, etc, etc. But that's the end of this video. Let me know what you think about the math, and what are you planning to do? Are you planning to spend 50 times 4 or 200 cores daily? Do you plan on spending less? Do you plan on spending more? What are your goals for Evil Strange, Strange Heartless? Let me know all that in the comments down below. And of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.